have a few more minutes before we get started. I think I might just go ahead. So today we're going to be going over how to do packing bearings. I can't remember I taught in steering suspension. Everything kind of blends together. So we're going to go over that because on the buggy, it takes packing a lot of bearings. I can't remember. So let me get something set up here. Everything kind of blends together. So we're going to go over that because on the buggy. There we go. I'll stop some of that. Okay. So these are called tapered bearings. They tapered rolling bearings. This is the cage right here, this little outer part, that's the cage. The rollers, this would be your inner race, your outer race. So it rolls inside there. Okay, on the buggy, it has 4 of, there's an empty box now. I'll keep that because I'm not ready to put them in quite yet. Has 4 of these bearings, and what it is, these are the bearings for the rear control arm to pivot. They pivot on these, on a tapered one. Now, why would you use a tapered bearing instead of a squared bearing? That's what's in this box. That was supposed to be a sealed bearing. Something's not right. That's not sealed either. That's wrong. And that's wrong. I get to send all those back. So this is the wrong bearing in the box. This is a ball bearing roller. Okay, now the one I wanted was sealed, meaning it was pre-oiled and ready to go. I should have looked at these at the store, but oh well. So these, your inner race, your outer race, and it has little ball bearings inside a cage. Get in there. Inner race, outer race, little ball bearings inside a cage, so it can roll. You would pack this area, and then you have to seal it to prevent dirt. The ones I wanted to order had a seal on them. So, yeah. So I gotta take those back. But at least I got these are right. So let's open them, double check though. That one's right. That one's right. And that one's right. Okay. Now I'm going to keep the box because after I'm done packing them, I'm going to put them back in the box until I put them into the vehicle. I'm waiting for one more part. So, to pack bearings. Now this is going to be kind of monotonous. It's kind of like watching paint dry. First thing you're going to take off is the outer race, okay? Now this usually gets pressed into the bore of the cart, the hub, or something like that. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to pack grease into it. And then what you want to do is you want to push grease into between this cage and the inner race. And as you push it in, it will then go up past these rollers and then onto the top of the cage. Okay, so that's how this works. Now, normally you would have gloves, but as what's going on, we have a scarcity of gloves, so I get to do it this way. So I already got my big roll of paper towels. I'm going to take a dollop of high temperature wheel bearing grease. Okay, always like the high temperature, because you never know where this is going to get put. Put it in the palm of my hand. Okay, I'll clean off some of this off my fingers here already. And what I'm going to do is just literally scrape this off my hand. Okay, now when we had steering suspension, a lot of my students kind of cheated and they would just go like this. The problem is it's not actually coating the bearings. It's just putting it on the top. We need to pack in the grease on the backside. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that out of the way. There we go. So we'll go back on this rest edge. Yeah, real good. Okay, so we're getting up there. Okay, so on the back side, it starts bubbling a little bit like that and bulging. Okay, and so now I'm gonna just keep packing. Okay, now I'm starting to come out, and what you're gonna do is you want it to ooze out of the top here, and I'm just about there, so.
Having fun?
Yeah, it's a great lesson today.
What are you doing?
Packing a bearing.
Huh?
Teaching my students how to pack a bearing.
Oh. I didn't know you were. Bye!
Okay, now I'm going to show you on camera. What's happening is, there we go, there's grease starting to come out of the top side of that. Little balls of grease, okay? That tells me I've now packed that side of the bearing, okay? And so now I can go ahead and turn and go to the next side. That's why I like wearing gloves doing this job. I'm going to turn and pack more bearing grease. Okay, that side started popping through the top. And turn. Okay, that side popped through. Almost done. Now, obviously, I can't really answer any questions right now. I'm not going to touch my phone. So if you got a question, I'll have to answer them afterwards. I've heard my phone beep twice now. And instead of trying to stab at that big grease, that's what I'm trying to do, is I just smear out a little bit. Okay, and just one last little spot. Okay, I am now done. So this bearing is now packed. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave all the grease on the outside because that's not gonna hurt it. And put it in the box. So So it's ready to go for Wednesday's lesson. Wednesday's lesson, hoping I'll get the right bearing. Ah, boogers. See if I can get this back in the drawer. There we go. Wednesday's lesson is, I'm hoping I'll have gotten the right bearings by then. And I'll be able to seal up the control arms back on. And then we can then do the brakes. Actually fabricate brake lines on that go-kart. Alright, so on today's homework assignment, what you guys have to do, let me switch this around. There, that's why you guys can see better. Alright, today's homework assignment is you gotta get on to Napa, AutoZone, O'Reilly, I don't care. Look up the cost of, not the replacement, but the part for the front hub. So it's usually a bearing set or a large bearing set for a vehicle, and they have them on all vehicles. On your front wheel drive vehicles, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, they will have a bearing because that's what makes it spin. I want you to be able to look up the cost of that bearing, okay? And then you're just gonna turn in a screenshot for today's assignment. Really simple, you learn how to pack a bearing. I'll show you how to preload that when we put the control arms in. I can't do that until I get those bearings replaced that I got the wrong ones on. So there you go. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for joining me.